at this sort of stage then, what do you think people can be doing to make sure that when they start going to market, they're going to market to the right people with the right message?
Yeah. Okay. So it's one of those things where every founder, or at least every founding team that I talk to in this stage, everyone is usually overconfident about their level of product market fit. And it just is what it is. I can tell you that true product market fit, you can feel it. It feels like you are in a kayak or a raft raging like down a river, and you can't, like, everything that you do to try to stop the kayak, it's not gonna, like, your kayak isn't gonna stop. That's product market fit. And it's a great feeling. Most teams, when they first start out, don't have product market fit. And so what they have to do is they have to work towards that. It's a process for literally every company. Doesn't really matter if you're SaaS, software, or even services. You could be a B2B, B2C. You've got to work towards product market fit in some kind of way, or service market fit, if you want to think about it like services. And the process for this, I mean, it's really going to start with really understanding what is it that your customers are hiring your product for. We call this jobs to be done. So if you're familiar with jobs theory, jobs theory comes up a lot with product marketing and product in general, but we can actually use this for understanding acquisition and for understanding what ultimately triggers, or what is the context upon which customers buy, but then also even more specifically buy our product. And with product market fit in general, the process as a whole is really understanding, with where our product is today, what is the market that is most likely going to buy this for a price that, is a fair or equal exchange. And sometimes we find that we don't have enough product and for the particular market that we're going after. And sometimes we start with, we have the wrong market entirely. And the product market fit game is really a game of understanding that. And we can actually use jobs to be done to understand that. And the first thing that we do is we're going to do customer discovery. We're going to do customer development, and we're going to ask them job style questions. And then from there, you are going to analyze that data, pull the top 2 to 3 job stories. Out of those job stories, there's probably one job story that your product just like absolutely nails it at. And then after that, with that job story, you're now going to say, okay, here are the top 2 to 3 customer segments within that want to complete or fulfill this job story. And now we have, very early product market fit tests that we can run. So we can say, okay, what does it look like to go after segment number 1? What does it look like to go after segment number 2? What does it look like to go after segment number 3? And that's usually what that process looks like. It's super rare. I've only ever seen it, I think, like one time, but it's like infinitely rare to launch a product and it just be like the perfect thing that everyone wants, and there's already an audience waiting for you. And on top of that, like, they're super happy, non-churning, high LTV paying customers. Like that is, it's, that's magical thinking. It's, I would expect that to not be the case. Actually, I would expect to have to work towards product market fit in some kind of way. And that's really the process that we use to understand that and to get there. And I want to say that was your question. Hopefully it was.
It was.
Okay, cool.
I mean, the famous story, right or wrong, I'm not sure if this is true, but the story with Airbnb, isn't it? So Airbnb started, they started pretty slowly. And actually a lot of the time in terms of acquisition, they were targeting, I think, listings on Craigslist or something. So, and it wasn't really until they started to send, I think quite manually, people around to actually photograph the places that were coming on Airbnb that actually started to sort of take off. So, you think of these organizations just being fast out the gate, but a lot of the time they're not, like you said, they're still struggling to find out, that market, the fit and all that kind of stuff. So, and essentially what you're saying there is start thin, isn't it? So it's not to say your product does all these different things. You're trying to understand what is the most important thing and what is that most important thing versus what the customer wants and versus how we can go against our competitors or the incumbents in the market. So you've got a good chance of getting people in to do that job in the first place.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's a stat. Actually, there's 2 things I wanted to add to that. First, most people don't know this, but it actually took Airbnb about 10 years before they got to where they were today.
Wow.
Which most people have no idea that like it took them that long. It took them a very long time. Like they were literally, they were like using Craigslist, and I think there's like a solid 2 to 3 years where they didn't even build product really. They were just kind of like hacking things together. And anyway, but the other thing I wanted to mention was, Yes. So when you think about product market fit, usually it's infinitely better to focus on a specific market, so a specific segment or set of segments, and build for that audience than it is to build a product and then have to figure out what market to sell it to. If you focus on the market first and then figure out, okay, what's the right product to build, you're going to have a way faster journey. You're going to have a way better time in general than if you were to build something in isolation or build something with half-baked data or information and then try to figure out, who do I sell this to? It can literally save you 2 to 10 years on average is what we've seen. So companies that go the latter, it just takes them longer because they have to spend more money, more resources, and more energy testing a lot of different segments. And testing is even like, I'm going to put that in finger quotes because it's actually really hard to test a segment. But going the opposite way of this is a particular market that we want to serve, they are this particular part is underserved or there's competitors that aren't serving their needs like in the way that they really should be, and we can do it way better. And, here's maybe the top 2 to 3 segments we're going to really focus on in that market. And then they, build what they need to build and then go to market that way. It's just a much more powerful journey. It's going to be way faster. And I think you're going to be a happier founder and also happier marketing team as well, because you'll actually know what you're selling and you'll know that there's actually a market like on the other end of it.
Well, like you said at the start, it's just so competitive these days, isn't it? It's hard to find a market that isn't being served by something. So, having that clear message is crucial, really.